Hey, FanboyNation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
You're watching.
We're watching. You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy. Fanboy.
Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
FanboyNation.
Dot. I assume Tom.
This is a very tough subject matter that's been turned into an action thriller that's well deserved. Today we are talking to Sarah Alexandria Marks, and I wanted to make sure I pronounced it was Alexandria, not Alexandra, about the film Escape. Sarah, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very glad to be here. How are you?
I am thrilled to talk to you. This is a film. It's reminiscent of the 70s action women in prison films where, you know, they have to escape from unjustly being imprisoned. But this is a sex trafficking story. And, you know, Sean Diddy Combs is in trouble for this right now. So the timing of it being released in the UK is quite remarkable.
Yes, I actually haven't thought about that until you just mentioned it.
You know, where was the film? Where was excuse me, it's it's only 9 o'clock. It's been a little rough morning for me, but you know, where was the movie filmed?
It was in the Canary Islands. So very beautiful scenery, lovely weather. We had it all. We were very, very lucky.
Right. If you're going to stab somebody in a movie, might as well be the Canary Islands.
Right? With a beautiful set to look at.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice sand dunes. Desert for miles.
There you go. You know, a lot of action. Howard Ford wrote the film and also directed it. What was it like working with Howard on this project?
Oh, Howard is such a joy to work with. You know, he's one of a kind, and he exudes this magic when he's on set, and it's infectious. So it's such a lovely experience working with Howard, and it's always such a positive one.
And, you know, has Sean Cronin ever played a nice guy in anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He just has the face for a baddie, doesn't he?
He does. He's got that villainous look. He's probably one of the most gentle people you'll ever deal with.
Yes, he's like a BFG. He's a big friendly giant, really. You know, he's a softie at heart. He's nothing like the villains that he plays, but he plays them very well. He has just the face for it.
You know, so how did this role come about? Because, you know, escape is a tough subject. I mean, we've had torture porn films like Hostel, where women will go on vacation and then get kidnapped, and then, you know, horrible graphic things happen. But here, you're the heroine and you're able to survive all this atrocity.
Well, yes, Howard did such a good job with creating our characters. You know, he gave us really fully fleshed out backstories that really played a part in, you know, us being captured in these vulnerable situations, being thrown into the depths of despair. And we use that to come together as a group of girls and find some strength and courage to actually fight back. So Howard did such a good job, you know, with coming up with the concept and every single character written in.
And then, be honest, Sophie was the biggest pain in the butt to work with. No, I don't know Sophie. I just picked her at random because she, you know, she's totally.
She's a joy to work with. You know, her energy is also so infectious. She's always smiling and she's always laughing, and she's just got this giggle that just makes you laugh. You don't even know what she's laughing at most of the time, but it's just funny, and she's just lovely to be around, and she's very hardworking. So yeah, she's a great energy to have on set.
No, I'm totally teasing. I've never met Sophie. I don't want an email from Sophie going, "Who's this crazy American talking bad about me?" You know, we just want to tease a little bit and have a good time because of the subject matter being so heavy. You know, when you get a script like this and you realize that, you know, this is a trafficking film, this is, you know, being sold essentially into, you know, I don't want the algorithm to get mad at me for this, but, you know, a type of slavery. You know, does it hit you like, do I really want to play a role like this, or do you have to get to like page 17 in the script and go, oh, okay, this is in our favor. We're not the victim in this film?
Well, I think it's always important to remember it is a film. So it's not real, even though some of the scenarios can be real, you know. So it's always good to be mindful of that also. But I'd never really shy away from, you know, a hard subject or a sore subject. I think it's really important. And I think Escape does have a heavy message, and it can be valuable to young girls and guys traveling on their own or just with a group of friends, you know, to be very mindful and be aware of what you're doing and who you're mixing with. And, you know, so I think it does hold a really important message.
And you know, it's already been released in the United States. It's now being released in the UK.
Yeah.
From early screenings over on your side of the world, what have the reactions been in comparison to the American reaction?
So it's not actually out in the UK yet. So you can pre-order it right now on Apple TV, and then it comes out on the 30th of September. So I'm sure the reactions will flood in. We've had some reviews come out from people like yourself doing, you know, the press, and they've actually been, the film's been received really well. It's been a great response. And really great things, you know, have been coming back to the director Howard. So yeah, it's been a joy to hear all the feedback from
Well,
everyone.
I'm happy a movie like this has been made because, you know, I mean, yes, it's a lot of pretty girls running around the beach, but you're being kidnapped from a beach resort, so that part is expected. But it's not, you know, gratuitous in everything that it's delivering, and I think that's also important.
Oh yeah, of course. And Howard just captures, you know, everything so well in the essence of the film. And yeah, I think he really wanted to show that contrast, you know, the girls on holiday, all different scenarios, everyone is there for different reasons, but he really wanted to show that happy side and the, you know, celebrating coming out of COVID and people being able to go on vacations, but then to show like a completely different end of the spectrum, you know, and it's hell, isn't it? And he does that so well.
Yeah, it's a living nightmare, and it's
Uh-huh.
at times it's white knuckling for the audience.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. You know, I think even I'm in it, and it has me on the edge of my seat, and it really does pull me in. All the characters are so engaging, and you get really invested in the characters, and you follow every single one, even the baddies. You know, and it just the story just jumps out to you from the screen. It takes you on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, John Paul being the worst of them. I actually know John Paul, so it's okay. You know, I can pick on him on this one and be legitimate. No, you know, when you, well, let's put it like this. You know, what has been your favorite vacation destination so far, aside from the Canary Islands, because this is more of a work trip than a vacation, but that you like, ooh, this would have made for a good horror film.
Ooh, a vacation that would have made for a good horror film. Well, I was very lucky the end of last year to go to Thailand to shoot a film there, and that's an action adventure with a touch of horror in it. So that was pretty epic, filming in the Thailand jungle. You know, very good spots in there to create some scary moments for the audience.
Yeah, the reptiles is enough to frighten me.
Oh my God. And the ants and the spiders and the mosquitoes, they're terrifying. I never
Yeah,
got used to it, you know. Spiders, they still scared me, and I had about 20 on me all at once, and I was I was terrified, and I just jumped out of my kayak into the water. So I didn't get used to that.
yeah. Well, you jumped out of the frying pan definitely into the fire with that one. You don't know what kind of creatures are swimming in that water.
Oh, I know, but it can't be any worse than like 20 spiders on you, crawling all over you.
Right.
There's something about spiders that's just so creepy.
I understand. I'm not a reptile fan, so my luck I would have jumped out and the reptiles would have popped up and I'm like, great, this is even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, they have some wild creatures out there. I think they're monitor lizards.
Hmm. Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
We
I
saw
mean,
a
you
fair few
guys,
of those.
right, and you guys didn't do Australia any favors by just like, oh, we have an overpopulation of this. We'll bring the frogs. Oh, the frogs became a problem. We'll bring this other animal. Oh, they have
Yeah.
27 of the 28 world's deadliest snakes. So, you know,
An endless cycle.
right, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I get it. You guys picked Pangea as a prison colony, but you didn't have to add to it. So it seems like you have a good time with this. When you saw the final cut, was there any scene of your own that made you jump and go, ooh, that even made me uncomfortable, and I was filming it?
Yes. And it was the scene with Glenn Salvage's character when, I'm on the run trying to go back to girls, and he captures me just out of nowhere. And yeah, the violence in that scene, it's quite horrific actually, and it wasn't nice to watch. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but I think it's always good when a movie can make you feel that sort of emotion, because it's doing the job, isn't it? We're supposed to take the audience on a journey and make them feel for the characters.
No, that's a good point. But it's just sometimes like you disassociate yourself from the role at that point and become an
Mm,
audience member.
yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it, how that happens?
But it's also fun to watch your guys' reaction, because there are some people that have trouble watching themselves perform.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, but I think it's really important as an actor to watch yourself and to critique, your work, because there's always room for improvement and to grow and to learn. So, yeah, I think it's actually really vital as an actor to watch your performance and to study yourself and to see some of your, blind spots that you wouldn't necessarily see when you're on set, unless you watch every single take back, which is just impossible. It's too time consuming. So yeah, I think it's really important to watch yourself back and to get used to that.
And then you get used to your own nervous tics and your own twitches and everything else.
And you're like, right, don't do that with my eyebrows. Don't move my head like this. And you start picking at little things, but it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Is there something that you nitpicked on that you eventually changed in your performance later on?
Oh, there's been so many things from when I started out in my career, because that's actually how I learned the craft, is by, getting cast in small projects when I first started out, student films or unpaid projects, and just thrown to the deep end and learning while I was on the job and watching other actors and what they did. So yeah, you learn so many things as you go, and you watch yourself back and you think, oh, I don't really like that, or I'm not really sure about how I did this. And so it's just a matter of watching and growing, and then trying something new on your next project.
It intrigues me how, we've already had the film released in the US, and now it's getting the UK release, and it's not like a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it's almost a full year later. um, you know, does the delayed gratification of being at home and finding out what the home audience feels in comparison to what a foreign audience understands in the film differ? And is it a different cut for the UK audience than it is for the American audience?
I don't believe so. I think it's the exact same film, the same cut. And really, no, there's no difference to find out, how the US audience react and how the UK audience will react. I think it's just all round quite pleasing to hear anyone, watching our indie film, because so much hard work goes into making a movie. So it's just quite a rewarding feeling knowing that people are watching it, and whatever their response will be, whether they'll like this bit or they won't like that bit, it's just nice to hear people getting involved in the indie filmmaking and supporting indie filmmaking.
Yeah. I had spoken with a voice actress a voice actor a while ago, and he had told me, I said, oh, someone was telling me they loved you in this role, and he thought back on it and going, I was in that because it was so long ago, and it had
Oh,
that
he's forgotten.
Yeah. And with this, because when you filmed and then the US release and now the UK release, is it going back and watching the film and realizing it was like, wow, this happened at X amount of time post COVID, that like we're 2 years removed and it's a totally different world from when we shot it to when it's being released at home?
Well, not really, because I think you just have to understand, after you finish filming, yes, it finishes for the actors, but it can go on for quite a long time for people on the other side, in post-production. And, sometimes these things take time, and it has to get to a point where it can sell. So it's just a matter of understanding the process of filmmaking from beginning to finish. And there's nothing really that you can do about it, and other than just sit back and wait and have that to look forward to.
Right. There's something about indie filmmaking that I absolutely enjoy when I find out the shoot schedule. Like, I've reviewed films that were a 2-hour film that ended up being a 7-day shoot, and then some that are 28 days maximum. What was the shooting schedule like for this one, and how does it feel to have such a positive response for an indie film that had such a short window to be produced, rather than, say, a 6-month shoot for something that's a bigger budget?
Oh, well, it's such an achievement, isn't it, to have such minimal days and minimal budget, minimal crew. But that also adds to the joy of the indie filmmaking, where everyone just throws themselves into it and everyone is willing to help and, go beyond their actual role that they're cast in. A lot of the actors actually really got stuck in and helped with different departments in the crew area, which is always really fun to learn what the other crew members are supposed to do, and you can understand every role that it takes. So always actually, I really enjoy that sort of style of guerrilla filmmaking, if you want to call it that.
Does it almost feel like an extension of theater or of filming a television show because the turnaround is so quick for you as a performer?
No, I don't think you can actually really compare theatre to film, because theatre you also get to rehearse for a certain amount of time, whereas film, you basically rehearse by yourself at home by learning your lines, and then you're just thrown straight into action as soon as you rock up on set on that first day and you start filming. So I just think, yeah, a whole lot more goes on within theatre with the rehearsals and to perfect it, because obviously you're performing to a live audience, and film you can do take after take. But the only thing is, with indie filmmaking, you don't really have the time to do take after take after take. You normally have to nail it in just one take, and you may be lucky to get a second take. So you just have to really be on the ball and be on your A game.
And with the release coming out on Friday, September 20th, what would you like audiences' reaction to be, their experience, and their takeaway from Escape?
Okay, yes, it comes out on the 30th of September, and you can pre-order now. So you need to get as many pre-orders in for Escape as possible on Apple TV. And I'm just hoping that everyone enjoys it, and they just go on this crazy roller coaster ride, and they walk away feeling, what the hell just happened? That was epic. I want to watch it again. And they want to tell their friends and family to watch it. I want them to be to enjoy it.
I dig it. Sarah, where can we find you on social media if we want to connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram, Sarah A. Marks.
Sarah Alexandra Marks, it's been a pleasure talking to you about Escape. Hopefully, if there's a sequel, it'll be an interesting one as well. And stop getting kidnapped like Liam Neeson's daughter in in Taken. But no, congratulations on the film. I'm thrilled for you, and I can't wait to see what you have coming next.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you.